Finally tonight, those who serve. The nation's highest award for valor was awarded today, the first airman to receive the Medal of Honor for action since the Vietnam War. In a White House ceremony, President Trump presented the medal to the widow of Air Force Technical Sergeant John Chapman, a special tactics combat controller who gave his life in a chaotic fight in Afghanistan in 2002 after being left on the battlefield. I recently sat down with his wife to talk about Chapman's heroism. In his 36 years, John Chapman lived by the creed, God, family, country.
And this is when he decided to join the Air Force.
A husband and father of two.
John was one of those teammates that I could trust and rely on.
On March 4th, 2002, Chapman was part of a joint special ops team on a mission to establish a mountaintop observation post in enemy territory. Sergeant Chapman's job, calling airstrikes as needed. But little did his team know, they were landing in a hornet's nest.
They were ambushed and they were in a pitched battle.
Their aircraft was hit. Navy SEAL Neil Roberts was thrown from the chopper, which was driven away. Regrouping, the remaining team, including Sergeant Chapman, flew back to the mountain to rescue their teammate. Chapman charged uphill through deep snow, attacking not one but two enemy bunkers, killing a pair of fighters before he was cut down by enemy fire.
It's not a surprise that John Chapman was leading a charge with a single-minded purpose of closing with and defeating the enemy to try to rescue his comrade.
Valerie Nessel, Chapman's wife, was at home. What do you remember about that day in March?
Put the girls to bed about 8:30, 8:45, and someone rang my doorbell. I looked outside and, there was three men. Chaplain and two dressed in blues.
I remember her asking me, please tell me that he's just hurt. I told her, I said that John gave himself courageously, saving others in battle.
But what no one knew at the time was just how courageous Chapman was. His team, driven off the mountain by heavy fire, unable to retrieve Chapman, who they believe was dead. Now, years later, advanced technology reveals Chapman was in fact still alive. Enhancement of Predator drone video and other data from the battle allowed experts to go back and identify Chapman and track his movements. The wounded airman killing two more enemy fighters and firing to defend another U.S. chopper carrying reinforcements, including Major Gabriel Brown. As long as he had a breath in him, he was still fighting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's thinking at any moment, any man is, how can I impact this battle?
But before the team could come to his rescue, this time, Chapman was fatally wounded.
I knew he would sacrifice himself for the better of the team.
We learned that he was left with the thought that he was dead, and he was alive and continued to fight. That's a lot to process.
They were in a 10,000-foot mountain, 3+ feet of snow, getting shot at in every different direction. I never in my heart felt like he was left behind per se. They did what they had to do, and that's what I believe.
7 Americans died that day, and now, from the fog of war, emerges the crystal clarity of duty and honor. Valerie Nessel telling me she would be accepting the Medal of Honor not only on her husband's behalf, but on behalf of all the Americans who died on that mountain that day. That's